I think that I have finally cracked the code to thrifting like an absolute pro, okay? I always thought, honestly, that thrifting, especially in Australia, it was just like so hard to find cute stuff. 90% of the clothes just looked like what your grandma would wear. Boy, was I wrong. Honestly, I just didn't know how to thrift properly. I didn't know how to navigate the stores, what to look for, where to go, all of that. And so if you are hoping to find a Pinterest-worthy, trendy, current wardrobe, but not do it through fast fashion, you want to thrift instead, then I really hope these tips help. They've honestly upped my wardrobe like 1,000%, and I really hope they can do the same for you. So obviously step number one is figuring out where to go. You can obviously ask your friends, you can Google, you can watch a lot of online thrifting videos. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Obviously, just making sure that you're watching people in your country or your city. And what you want out of a store depends entirely on what you're actually looking for. Like some people might prefer a really small thrift store in a very rich neighborhood, for example, because they want to dress like Miranda Presley from The Devil Wears Prada. For me personally, I like a really, really big charity shop. I just think the more clothes there are, the better chance you have of finding something. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but in my experience, I always prefer the massive stores over the little ones. So for me, I go to Salvo's a lot. That's like the main one that I go to. And I also go to Vinnie's. And I know those two stores do exist in other countries as well. Before I go to a new thrift store, I will literally look it up on Google Earth and Google Maps, and I will scope out the size of it. I always go onto Google, like in your Google Maps, you can check the images of the store that people have uploaded. And I like to make sure that I know the layout of the store before I go. I just like to know exactly what I'm getting myself into, because if I look up an image and the store looks really small or just not that well put together, then I won't go. I'll just go somewhere else. Before you even set foot into a thrift store, I really recommend just like looking online at photos of clothes that you like, or just having in your mind people's style that you like. For example, do you love the way that Hailey Bieber dresses? Do you like Emma Chamberlain style? Just like have an idea of what kind of clothes you like. I was not on Pinterest until like quite recently. I wasn't actively using it. And before I go thrifting, I just make like a massive Pinterest board of clothes that I'm currently liking. The reason I think this is important is not because you should go thrifting with like a list of things that you want, because that literally never works. It's more like having an idea of what silhouettes you really like, or what patterns you're drawn to, or, you know, what kind of shaped jacket do you like? You know, do you like shoulder pads? Do you prefer a little fuzzy cardigan? It's just like having those ideas so that when you get to the thrift store, you've already kind of identified what pieces you're drawn to. And once you're there, you can really start to pick out those pieces easily. The next thing is, I think, so overlooked, and I'm gonna sound like such a mum, but come prepared, okay? Thrifting can be, it's like a sport, honestly. Like your brain is so switched on, you're so focused on like finding certain things. You're often carrying just heavy baskets or pushing a trolley. It's not always like a stress-free experience. So anything you can do to make your life easier and make the thrifting experience more fun, do it. Whether that means literally bringing a friend every time you go thrifting, packing water, bringing a tote bag, maybe even two, so that you don't have to buy, you know, plastic bags on your way out to carry all of your clothes. Also just having a tote bag to bring your wallet, bring your phone, bring your headphones if you are a music listener. Just like those little things that you might not think about, honestly, plan for it, because it will make your experience so much nicer. Okay, the last tip before we actually get into the thrift store is wear a cute but practical outfit. I've thrifted in dresses before, but I honestly always recommend wearing separate. So wearing like a top and pants or a top and shorts, because you can pull pants from the rack and you can try them on with the top that you're already wearing, and vice versa. And you already like those items of clothing, so you'll just feel comfortable when you're trying on new pieces. Also, wearing an outfit that you think is cute makes the biggest difference. One time I went thrifting in this purple singlet that I have, and I remember trying on, I have footage of this, but I was trying on all of these business shirts, like a bright orange one, a rainbow stripy one, and the top was just working for me with all of those shirts. And I'm a highly visual person, and it gave me this like very clear visual of all of the outfits that I could put together with the pieces I was trying on. And it just made the thrifting experience so much easier. And I really struggle to make decisions on what to keep and what to throw away in a thrift store. And wearing something cute literally just took all of the decisiveness out of the window, because it was an obvious. I was like, obviously I'm gonna take this bright orange button up home. Like, it looks so good with the purple singlet. Also, goes without saying, but wear shoes that are comfortable and that are easy to just slip on and off, whether it's sneakers or sandals or something, just something really, really easy. One time I thrifted in Docks, and it was one of the hugest mistakes of my entire life. Okay, so you're in the thrift store and you've heard this 1,000 times, but to find cute stuff, you literally have to look through every single rack. Unless you know 100% that you do not want a pair of pants, that you can probably make an exception for, but honestly, I always still look through every single rack. The reason why I do that is because oftentimes the volunteers who work at these charity shops aren't putting the clothes back on the shelves themselves. People will come out of the changing room and they'll put clothes back where they think that they got them from. But how easy is it for someone to like accidentally shove a dress into the pants aisle? And I found so many cute pieces this way, guys. Honestly, the dress that's in the pants aisle is gonna somehow be the cutest dress you've ever found in your life, and you will miss out on that if you don't just look through every item of clothing. If you're in a time crunch, sure, but if you have the time, please look through every rack. You will absolutely not regret it. So in order to go through every section, you need to make a plan of attack. Again, I sound like such a mum, and my mum and I actually do this whenever we go shopping together. We discuss when we get into the store, we're like, okay, what's our order here? Like, which way are we gonna look through these clothes? Are we going clockwise? Are we going row by row? And it's honestly the best way to thrift and to shop, because it means that you're not gonna miss anything. You're gonna make sure, like, because you have a system, you know that you've covered everything. It sounds silly, but honestly, it's a game changer. Obviously, every thrift store is different, but Salvo's, which is the one that I typically go to, if you guys have seen my Thrift With Me's, you will know this already, but they have a street boutique section, which is like kind of designer. It's not designer though. It's like, it has Ralph Lauren, and like, it just has anything that has a brand name, essentially. It's not Chanel, but it's, I don't even know what you'd call those brands, but you know what I'm saying. If there is an expensive section in your thrift store, I personally recommend going there first. That's what I do. Not only is it right by the entrance, so it's the obvious place to start for me, but also it means that if I see a piece that I love, let's say it's a pair of vintage Levi's and they're $40, which, yes, vintage Levi's are expensive here, then knowing that at the beginning means that I'm not gonna be hit with any crazy surprise costs. I can kind of like shop with that budget in mind. Maybe that's a me thing, but I think that that tip really helps me just like budget and plan what I'm gonna keep, what I'm gonna get rid of. My next tip is, once you've tackled each section in the store, whether that's accessories, pants and jeans, dresses and skirts, however you choose to section things off, I would go and try things on. If you guys have seen my Thrift With Me's, you'll know that I literally am bouncing in and out of the changing room like the whole time, which seems like a logistical nightmare, but it means that it's essentially like, you know, when you're cooking and you clean as you cook, right? Some people do that, but other people choose to just let the dishes pile up and then they'll do like a massive clean at the end. I think it's just a personal preference thing, but for me, I find it a lot less stressful to kind of cull and choose what I'm getting rid of and choose what I'm keeping as I go through the store, rather than having the fattest cart of thrifted clothes and then having to do like a massive cull at the end. It also means that you can try and pair pieces together. Like if you try on a really cute pair of jeans, then you might find a top that would go really well with those, but you wouldn't have known that unless you had tried on the pants first. My next tip, which I think most people already know, but pay extra attention to certain sections in the thrift store. The first section is the underwear and pajama section. I feel like we all know this, but that is where you can find the most beautiful slip dresses, lacy, you know, singlets, that kind of thing. I have thrifted all of my cute slip dresses from that section. Slip dresses are just so timeless, so classy. They will never go out of style. So that's why I recommend just spending a little bit of extra time making sure that you've like properly checked that section out because you honestly can find some real gems in there. The swimwear section is also worth checking out. I feel like a lot of people just completely ignore it. I used to ignore it as well, but you can use full piece like vintagey swimsuits as bodysuits and they look really, really cute. I'm yet to find a really good one, but I've seen other people thrift like stunning ones. You can also thrift little cute sarongs, you know, like Y2K sarongs and that kind of thing. It's just definitely worth checking out. And of course, the scarf section. I love a scarf. Thrifting just like a beautiful silk scarf is so classic. You can use it in your hair as like a headscarf. You can also tie them up as little tops. Just a classic, easy piece to thrift, and they're always dirt cheap as well. And last, but absolutely not least, if you've watched my channel, you will know what I'm about to say. Say it with me, the men's business shirt section. Baby, they have the cutest stuff. It's always so affordable to buy a men's business shirt. I have thrifted a men's business shirt honestly every single time I've gone to the thrift store this year. I am obsessed with them. I have a problem. It needs to end. They are literally all over my Pinterest all the time. Like a massive, I'm literally wearing one right now. A massive oversized men's business shirt is just an actual staple. You can wear them open over a little crop like I am. You can wear them as dresses if you find one that's a good length. And the best part is they come in just the most fun colors and patterns. Honestly, just such a staple all year round. So timeless, so stylish, and yeah, it's my favorite section for a reason. Like, they are just so cute. My next piece of advice is to envision what the piece could be rather than just looking at it for what it is. Let's say that you see a jacket and you love the print. It's like very cool print, but you hate the buttons and you hate the length of the jacket. Rather than just saying, oh, hate it, not gonna buy it, just like figure out a way that you can change the buttons and crop the jacket. You know, it's like having that visualization of what something could be. Again, maybe like a massive grandma night dress. Go and watch Best Dresses thrift flips because you can make anything out of a nightie, for example. Truly, it just takes a little bit of creativity, a little bit of know-how. There are so many tutorials on YouTube that will help you, but thrift flipping clothes is so much fun and it just makes the piece so much more unique. So definitely don't just discount an item because you don't know that you would wear it as it is. Like, really try and visualize what it could be. That also goes with pants to a certain extent. If you find the perfect pair of pants, but they're just a little bit too big, don't stress, you can get them altered. You know, if you're really short but the pants are long, you can take them up yourself. You can get them taken up. I've had so many pairs of jeans altered to fit my body better, and I would so much rather spend that little bit more money, or if you can do it yourself, a little bit more time to make the piece perfect for you. My last piece of advice is probably a little bit controversial because I think it goes against what people would typically recommend. If you're in a store and you're trying on a piece of clothing that you're unsure about, I think most people would say if you're unsure about it, don't buy it because that's your gut telling you that you don't really want it. I would say that it depends entirely on how expensive the item of clothing is. If the item is between like $1 and $15, I say buy it. I honestly say buy it because the amount of times I have tried on a piece of clothing in a thrift store and I've been like, I like this, but do I love it? Like, I'm a little bit unsure. Walked away, and then, you know, because I filmed for YouTube, I've watched back the footage and been like, you are such an idiot. You should have bought it. That's the cutest piece. And it's a thrift store. I'm never gonna find that piece again, ever. And poof, it's gone. If the item is well priced enough, the reason I think you should buy it is because if you then really decide you don't like it when you get home, or you try it on but you're not sure how to style it and so it just sits in the back of your closet, you can always give it to a friend, you can thrift flip it, you can donate it, you can resell it on Depop. There are so many options if the piece is cheap enough that I think the pros outweigh the cons. The con is just like if you find a piece that you're unsure about and then you walk away filled with regret, you just can't ever find that piece again. I don't know if that's bad advice, but honestly, I've lived by that since then and I have not regretted one thing I've come home with. I hope this video helped. If there are any other things you want advice on, let me know. There are so many other hacks, like you can measure jeans around your neck to see if they will fit you. That actually doesn't work that well for me, but you know, there are definitely other bits of advice that I could give, but these are the things that I've done that actually really have ensured that I find cute pieces every single time I go. I do post a lot of thrifting content as well as lifestyle content, so if you're new, definitely stay around. Go and binge some of my thrift with me's. I found some very cute stuff this year. And I will see you guys next week with a new video. Bye!